it has been a very long time since I have done anything on this channel, and I felt a little silly working on the very ending of this project here. But I was like, what's the point of being perfect, right? You're never perfect anyway. So what I'm currently working on is this series called My Nightmare Friends. This one's not particularly nightmare, that I actually started in 1997. And a few years ago, I was going through one of my old trailer trucks and I found all of these old sketches and things. So I had been finishing them, and so basically a lot of them were pencil, or a lot of them were marker as well, and they're faded and old, you know. So I've been going through and I did watercolor over them, and now I'm doing the finishing touches with the last marker. These markers I really enjoy. I've been working with these ever since I was a kid. Probably very familiar with them. If you're an artist, it's a common brand that we work with. I guess my father was probably the first one to gift me such markers. So what this channel is, it's basically just me ranting while I'm drawing. And I haven't done anything like this in a long time, as I had previously said. So this is definitely not scripted, nothing along those lines. It's just sort of me rambling about what I've got going on. So if you don't know me and this is your first time, that's rather random. Welcome to my channel. This channel, this is a backup channel that I barely use for anything. As I said, I think it's probably been 5 or more years since I've posted anything here. But I'm an artist. My name is Xanthia. I'm also a model and a singer in a couple of bands. If you search my name on any social media or streaming platforms, you can hear my music, things like that. This weird music in the background that you'll hear from time to time is actually my Project 19.5 music. And besides that, yes, I'm an artist. This particular series I've been working on again for about the last year, and I'm really looking forward to actually finishing it, because I already have a lot of inspiration and other ideas of things that I would like to work on next. But until I finish these pieces, I feel like I can't, start on the new pieces, because then these will just sit. Similar to a surrealist self-portrait series that I was working on in oil a few years ago. I had stopped, and I have about 8 paintings that are about a fourth of the way done sitting behind me in my studio. So I figured, yeah, I might as well finish these. So this one is a owl, quite obviously, and how I go about it is as I said, I first do pencil, and then I do marker, and then I splatter everything with different types of watercolor or alcohol inks, and both. Sometimes I'll mix them. This one only has watercolor. And then after I go about that, I go through with these markers, and then I use my paint markers. I also a lot of times will use these markers, not those markers. I have a lot more over here. I cleared off my table not too long ago. So these are all of the different markers that I use. And I like to color the border as well. And I tend to color the border a lot with this type of gold, orange, yellow school bus color. It's actually one of my favorite colors, even though I never really post that anywhere. I never told anyone before. Now you know. Purple's actually my favorite color, but I do really like this color. So with the watercolor, it's really nice, but I do tend to like to go over... Oh, this is way too orange. Ew. Okay, never mind. Okay, well, I'm going to do a little bit of accents so that when I throw the other color on it, which I didn't realize this was... Oh, it might be still orange simply because I also did throw it over other colors. But the colors that I really like, maybe it's this one. Yeah, that one might... I'm not really an orange person. I don't really like orange so much, but let's see what this one looks like. Okay, yeah, that's more of the golden yellow. That's still a little bit orange, but that's okay. Yeah, so I use these to pull out any extra shadows or colors, things like that. And I also do like to do the border in this. I keep this under here. That way I'm not messing up my tables completely, because as you can imagine, you do this so many times, your tables tend to get completely gunked with whatever it is that you're working on. So I always put different papers over it. But if I'm working with black marker, I don't go directly onto this background. I use other paper because the black will then get onto whatever I'm working on and spread into my painting if I'm doing things like this. And then I go like this onto the background. If there's any black ink, it'll pull back up onto my marker, unfortunately, and mess up whatever I'm working on. So that's that. So let me get into my personal life a little bit and what I've had going on since I have been on here last, at least. Well, we have sold the nudist resort in Land O'Lakes where I had been at and had my childhood. My father was the owner of the resort, and I had taken it over in 2001 when I moved back from Denver. When I lived in Denver, I had a 2,000 square foot, two-story, 10,000 square foot, not even sure what I said. I had a 10,000 square foot, two-story art gallery in downtown Denver for years, and then closed that to move back and help my father with the resort and take over. But during COVID, my whole life was in shambles and everything fell apart, and I went into a really bad depression. My father, part of that was my father was deciding to sell the resort, in which case I kind of was a nomad floating around for a few years, trying to figure out what it was I was going to do next, and also going through a depression from a breakup that I had gone through shortly after COVID. It messed me up for a few years, and I just recently now have moved onto the property in Mayaca City that my father and I purchased with the money from selling the resort. And it was property that I had picked out with him, so I'm very happy with it. It's 10 acres on the river, and it's been really great since I've been here for the last maybe 2 years or so. And it's been a little bit rocky because my father and I don't have the best relationship, but it's definitely getting better as he's getting older, as I'm getting older, as we are getting older. But he's also an artist. He had started doing, focusing more on his art in his late 70s, and now he's in his early 80s. So it's been really great for him as well to be able to express himself this way. I believe that probably both my parents suffer from a type of anxiety, depression, something along those lines. Probably maybe on a little bit more of a serious level than, everyone, because I feel that everyone probably is constantly seeking happiness and trying to figure out what the next dimension in their life is going to be, things along those lines. My father has a lot of anxiety. He never talks about anything, so I don't really ever know what's going on, but my mother has a lot of depression and things along those lines, and maybe because of nature or nurture, I'm not really sure. It's something that I have struggled with my entire life, which is why I am so prolific as often as I can, always creating some type of art. That way I can feel like I can get out of my head the best that I can. And so being here and doing this, and this channel previously was a big part of that, of my getting out of my head and figuring out what the next step is, and having, I guess in a way, an audience to talk to about what I have going on. So it's very personal, and I appreciate that I can have that. And it'll be interesting to see those of you that used to watch me years ago on this channel, leave me comments. Let me know, what you've been up to for the last few years since I've been here. Now, I haven't been silent on YouTube since I've been not on this particular channel. I mean, I've been focused on my music full time. So that's been a lot of my attention. I've made numerous albums. Oops, that's not one that I want. Where's my 10? I've come out with numerous albums, and as I said, they're on all of the platforms, and that has taken a whole lot of time. Besides that, I own a storefront in St. Petersburg and Gulfport, right on a main street, and that has taken a lot of time and effort to put together as well. So I've been focused on a lot of different things, which has been really good. But my depression has never gotten better. I have moments where I'm feeling really good. I was feeling really good for maybe a couple months. For the last couple months, however, I've been feeling very bad again. And I just never know when the right time is to start making videos like this again. Or, it's just like you always wait for some sort of level of perfection in your life to feel the freedom to express yourself. But You know, when does that ever happen? You know, I've been watching a lot of documentaries recently on artists and musicians, you know, and actors, you know, and it's been, you know, both well-known, rich and famous, all of that, and also obscure, bizarre people that have inspired me. And it seems I've seen a recurring, you know, story that most of them seem to be suffering with depression. So I don't know. I guess it just might be a part of people that choose to do art, and I don't think art is what makes us depressed. I think that we're depressed, so we do art. I don't know. That seems more legitimate to me, at least from my personal experience. But it does create the ability to create, which is really great and something that's beneficial. So this particular series, as I said previously, I was really excited about finishing it. That way I can start on my next series. So I believe that this painting is probably done, or drawing, whatever, multimedia piece. No, wait, I like to put the paint markers on the top. Let me grab at least the white. Okay, here we go. This particular brand of paint marker is really good. It's something that I really appreciate. Wow, I haven't really messed up my table here yet. So let me, you always gotta mess up your table a little bit. Dot, 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 dot. Yeah, so here we go. So I like to use this to, you know, bring out any of the little final, you know, aspects of the painting, to bring out any kind of reflections or highlights, you know, things along those lines. Did I already mess it up? Yeah, of course I did. Yeah, so I utilize the paint markers. I currently, on this particular series, as I've been finishing it, have only been using the white. I haven't done too much with other colors. Sometimes I'll go about and I'll do some like little scribbles and things like this around the edges with some other colors, because as I'm explaining it, I'm doing it with the white. But I think it just adds and gives like a little bit of dimension. My pieces that I tend to really enjoy doing the most are really dark and creepy and unsettling, much as my music. So this particular series is a lot more friendly than most of the stuff that I do, but I thought that it would be good to kind of sell out a little bit, because it's not selling out if it's your brand, right? As Barbie from Geography Now always says. Barb's, you ever watch Geography Now? Really good show on YouTube. But anyway, if you're into geography, that is. Yeah, so I guess this one's probably about done. I'll just do some little scribbles here and there. And all of these are for sale, not only as original artworks that I then put in frames, but also as t-shirts. Oh wait, maybe I could do little splatters. I did see, oh, there we go, look at that. Actually, I have not done that yet. Splat, splat, splat. Splat. What if I go and splat on him? Oh, there we go. Splat on you. Yeah, there we go. Now he's got some splats. I've never even tried to do that with the paint markers before. That's really cool. I like it. So let me show you around my studio a little bit. So there's one of my music videos in the background there. You can check it out if you type in Xanthia Music on YouTube. Yep, and then these are some of the different things that I'm making for my music videos. This is one that I made for one of my past music videos. So I do a lot of different types of art. Make hats. I do cosplay. Look at my studio. So many things. It's a mess. But this is what I'm currently working on, and I'm on the last aspect. As you can see, after I do the paintings, they get kind of faded. So I like to go over it and kind of make everything pop again. So that's what I'm working on right now. Yeah, so you know what? I'm just going to make this the last part of this video. I'm going to be working on this next. Okay, I love you. Bye.
I carry them with me, the ones who